play through it, basically.
Yeah. We just have to manage him and don't get him quite as many reps as what we normally would, but I think he'll be fine.
Talk a little bit about Barry's progress, being able to get more reps.
Well, it's obviously helped him. He's just got to keep on going and keep progressing. I mean, Barry was so close to being right there anyway, so it's good to have a backup that can step in and hopefully do the job.
And trust.
Exactly.
Bo was mentioning his stance as far as trying to help him get over some of the soreness. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that as far as
his footwork?
Yeah, I guess that's what he's talking about. His stance, his footwork, to kind of help not his shoulder and arm not be as sore.
Yeah, the whole thing is if you're stepping into your throw, it lessens the pressure on your arm. So if you're stepping away from where you're trying to throw, you're using more arm. So that's something that we've worked on, since I've been here. So we'll continue to, obviously.
Improvement in that area?
Yeah.
Dan, what does the long layoff do to timing in an offense?
I don't think it's not like you get different during the game. We've been practicing all along, so I don't see how that's going to be a problem at all. And if it is, it happens to everybody, so we all have to deal with it. Now, I've always thought anytime there's something that may detract from a football team, whether it's bad weather, a long layoff, whatever it is, it all depends on how you deal with it, because the other team has to deal with it too. So if we are mentally tougher than they are, then it'll be a positive for us.
How does the layoff affect the game, affect the team, offense and defense? What does it do?
Again, I don't see how it really does, because it's one thing if it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
You haven't actually been in a game, but we've played 12 games already. We've had a million practices, so it's just a matter of getting our timing down and knowing what this team is going to do to us.
Talk a little bit about Pitt's defense.
Their defensive line, to me, is really, really good. You can see that they're real active. They've got 4 guys that play a lot, which we're used to guys that get a few reps and they're out of there. So these guys you can see they want to play their starters a bunch, and rightly so, because they're really good. So it's going to be a tough task for us. You look at them. I mean, this is a team that was beating Notre Dame 20-6 in the fourth quarter. So they're obviously a good football team. We just got to find a way to keep battling the way we have the last couple of weeks, and we feel like offensively we feel like we can move the ball versus anybody.
Are they aggressive or blitzing?
They're not a huge blitzing team. When they do, they bring some really tricky ones, so it's something, as always, you have to be prepared for.
Bo mentioned that their defensive coordinator left. Mm-hmm. What is it? Do you expect anything different? Maybe the way they call things?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You just never know. I would think that they'd keep the same thing. That's what
not
got
make
them
it
there.
too complicated.
Right. So I'm sure they're going to run the same stuff that they've been doing, but you never know. It's a different guy calling the shots, so you just never know what's going to happen.
How important is it to get a running game going to kind of take the pressure off Bo and Barry?
Always. I don't care if your quarterback's 100% or not. You always want to get that running game. That's what opens everything else up in our scheme.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, man.
Dan, you mentioned all the practices you guys have had to this point, obviously going back to August. It's almost January. Is there a little bit of a problem keeping attention in practices
No,
through the end?
No, our guys are so excited. I think for most of these guys, it's the first time they've gone to a bowl, so you can tell that they're having fun out here. You saw today just how excited everybody was. And Coach Freeze does such a good job of creating competition and getting our guys excited about it. I'm watching this today, and to me, it's like the first day of practice at the start of the year.
What have you seen of Mikael Miller so far?